We are the restaurant brokers, and we sell restaurants.
We started the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm over a decade ago.
Atlanta, Georgia was our starting point, but our brand is spreading nationwide. We define restaurant brokerage and help buyers just like these.
Our dream, our goal, open up a restaurant, loving life, serving people breakfast and lunch, and then enjoying the rest of the day with them and ourselves.
Buying an existing restaurant, leasing a closed restaurant space, or purchasing a restaurant franchise. We help buyers satisfy their appetite for acquisition.
I'm part of a husband and wife team with this fella.
Working with my wife has been a lot of fun. The ultimate goal for everybody here is to make this work. And because we have different strengths, we bring different angles to the deal.
The process begins with our powerhouse website, WeSellRestaurants.com, where buyers sign online confidentiality agreements and browse restaurants for sale.
Then we send buyers undercover to check out a restaurant and decide if it's the right one for them.
Buyers get our proprietary business analysis tool with all the financial details on the business for sale.
After studying the restaurant inside and out, it's back to our office.
We're deal makers. We write contracts and negotiate terms for buyers and sellers. That's why we sell more restaurants than any other firm in the nation. We are the restaurant brokers. Our name says it all. I'm Robin Gagnon.
And I'm Eric Gagnon, and we sell restaurants. We started the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm, We Sell Restaurants, over a decade ago. You can find us online at WeSellRestaurants.com.
That's not all. We're on your radio once a week with the leading authorities in the business, talking about subjects trending in the restaurant industry. Tweet your questions while we're on the air to our Twitter handle. It's at Sell Restaurants. Post to our Facebook page, facebook.com/WeSellRestaurants. Check us out on YouTube. It's We Sell Restaurants. If we don't get to your questions, we'll follow up on social media.
Our goal is to satisfy your appetite for acquisition, feed the need for restaurant reality, and serve up a recipe for business success. If you have any ideas or comments about the show, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email. My email is Eric, E-R-I-C, at WeSellRestaurants.com.
Today, the restaurant brokers are talking to owners of Delicatessens. That's right, the deli. What makes a great deli, and what keeps those customers coming back for more? Join us as we interview the owners of your favorite place to go to lunch, the classic Delicatessen.
And to start us off today, our first guest is Claudio Forgiueli, the owner of Reuben's Deli. Reuben's Deli is not just an ordinary sandwich shop, it's home to the extraordinary sandwich. At Reuben's, they succeed in making every sandwich a masterpiece. They always use freshly sliced boar's head and Thumann meat, fresh baked breads, and cookies. Reuben's has served up their famous made-to-order sandwiches, fresh soups, and salads since 1996. It has been voted best deli in Atlanta and top 10 delis in the U.S. Customers line up at the door at lunchtime daily for our hearty and healthy fare. The line moves quickly, and the value-priced food and friendly staff makes the wait worthwhile. Come hungry and come prepare is their motto. Claudio, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. How you guys doing?
Great. And our next guest is Mark Estee. Mark is the owner of Reno Provisions in Reno, Nevada. He is a community leader, nationally recognized chef, and a man dedicated to revamping a thriving restaurant culture in Reno and Lake Tahoe. He has extended his culinary footprint across northern Nevada and northern California. Estee owns and operates 8 restaurants where his menu offerings encompass his philosophy of simple, seasonal, fresh, and local. Chef, thank you for joining us.
Hey, glad to be here. Thank you very much.
And we also are joined today by Ron Eister from Thumann. Ron Eister is everyone's favorite angry chef, has made a name for himself as an innovative chef who is constantly reinventing American classics and vetting on Twitter. He has rejuvenated the Morningside neighborhood with his local restaurants, Rosebud and the Family Dog, and his bigger-than-life personality. Ron eventually settled in Atlanta with 101 Concept as the sous chef of the original Food 101. It was his many years with them that brought all his experiences full circle and prepared him for this next phase of his restaurant career, executive chef and owner of Rosebud. Rosebud has become the neighborhood eatery in Morningside. He is the quintessential hangout for good music, good drinks, and good food. With Rosebud's exception, Ron Eister and business partner Jason Chenette opened the Family Dog, a local watering hole and cozy eatery. The Family Dog has established itself as a haven of the neighborhood, offering its guests creative farm-to-table pub cuisine and innovative fare and crafted beers and cocktails. Ron, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me this morning. I appreciate it.
All right, so we have got a great crew assembled, and I want to just start it off by asking, what is it about the deli that makes this time-honored classic an American piece of the landscape? What is it that makes us come back again and again for this fair and really keeps companies like yours in business? Claudia, why don't you start us off there?
Well, I think with myself, I mean, the fact that we've been in downtown Atlanta for as long as we have, we are a part of the fabric of this area. We've had the same customers coming in here for 16 years. So we're not just a little sandwich place. We are the neighborhood sandwich place. And I think, if you could look at some of the better, smaller delis in New York, I just got back from New York yesterday. You look back at some of the better, smaller delis in New York, they've been there forever, and they've been in that community forever, and the community supports them.
So I love that. Mark, is that true? Because I know you're a community advocate. That's what we read about in your bio. Is that's what you think? It's that integration into the community, that sense of something bigger. When you come, you're not just getting a sandwich, you're sharing bread with a friend?
Absolutely. I think that, the greatest thing to do is sit around and eat and enjoy food together. And I think a deli is the perfect place. It's a lot less formal than a restaurant, but you can still expect the great service at all our places. Our deli cooks or our deli counter help or our cashiers really, really have that same kind of level of service, if you will, that you'd expect from like a fine dining restaurant. They're not all dressed in a tuxedo taking care of you, but they care about your well-being. They want to make sure you're taken care of from start to finish and that you're eating delicious food and you're happy. So,
Ron, I once sold a restaurant, and it was a sandwich shop. As restaurant brokers, we do all kinds of trade, but the sandwich shop I sold, I asked the gentleman why he got into the business, and he said, I decided to get in the sandwich shop business instead of some other kind of cuisine because I figured that customer will come in 2 or 3 times a week. He may get a hot sandwich one day, he may get a cold sandwich the next, he can get a salad the next, and I'm going to build up a repeat business from someone who's going to see me multiple times a week instead of just having a Chinese restaurant or having a Mexican restaurant because you'll only eat that cuisine one time a week. You think that's true of the folks that come and visit your businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we also have the pizza component included with our deli, but just concurring with the other two gentlemen had to say about, being entrenched in a restaurant and being part of a local community. I mean, that's obviously really important. And yeah, the deli, I mean, I think the key thing to a deli is that the food is very approachable. I think in this day and age, chefs sometimes get a little carried away with creativity, and that might intimidate a guest here or there, but when you walk into a deli, because there are so many timeless traditions associated with the concept of a deli, people feel pretty comfortable, coming in and just freely ordering. And so, you get the pleasure of, seeing repeat business. And then, if somebody is just driving through the neighborhood by happenstance, then, they see the word deli on a sign. Again, that immediately resonates with them as food that they're going to understand and they're not going to feel intimidated by their surroundings. And then, a deli is, kind of share some components of a diner. Pretty much you're going to be able to go in there and find something that you're going to like.
Sure. That brings a good point. Mark, I wanted you to weigh in on that. Delis have been around a long time. We talk about, longevity here and stuff like that. What about today's deli, though? This is a little different than it used to be. Where was it? Where is it today? We're talking about farm to table, organic. We're talking about different things. We're talking about classics. So what does today's deli look like that's different than it was in the past?
For us, it's about quality products, and sometimes we use some really great San Daniele prosciutto or Parma ham prosciutto. But a lot of times, what we look for is items that we make ourselves. We have a in-house butchery in the basement of Reno Provisions. So we're making our own ham, we're making all our own salami, we're doing a lot of things, mortadella, different types of sausages. We're doing everything ourselves downstairs. So it's kind of taking that, restaurant style of, quality handmade products and delivering in a deli setting. And our deli is kind of cool. It has Reno Provisions has a cafeteria aspect to it. So besides the deli, you actually can have like a hot lunch, hot breakfast, lunch, or dinner served up on an old tray. So I think we're taking the classic deli and giving a little twist to it.
Interesting. How about you, Claudio? What's changed since you guys have been in business for so long?
Well, I think, with due respect to the other two gentlemen, I think that the traditional deli. I mean, you look at there was 1,500 delis in the 5 boroughs in the 50s. There's maybe 150 now. There's probably a handful of true delis on the East Coast that are left from the 70s and 80s. I think that the delis that haven't made it are the ones that unfortunately, try to haven't changed with the needs of society. I think society in this day and age is very much a fast food mentality, especially for lunch. Go in, grab something, get the heck on out, go back to the office, and go back to work. What we've done is we have, at least with my deli, what we've done is we've kind of incorporated the fast food aspect of it with the quality that they expect from a deli, because the quality's got to be there, as the gentlemen have said, in terms of making your own product or buying the best product. But the speed of service is at this point is paramount. Give you an idea. 10 years ago, my busiest lunch hour, we put through 100 people. We were excited, and we were putting out still a good product, but we were running it like the delis I grew up in New York and in Los Angeles. Changing the setup of the deli and becoming strictly counter service, I'm putting through almost 250 people an hour. Yesterday, on a slow day, we put through 235. You have to be able to execute. You have to be able to put the product out in a fast casual attitude, I guess, for lack of a term. And the bottom line is you've got to be able to deliver a quality product, and you've got to do it in 30 seconds, because that's the attention span for most of our customers.
Wow, no pressure there. What do you think, Ron?
No pressure at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely, especially at lunchtime. There's no doubt, people come in with a sense of purpose, and, they need to get what they want, and they need to be able to get out in an efficient way. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely an important aspect to consider. I think that's what the challenge with today is that, we want to be able to present the finest quality. We want to be able to present that creatively, but, there needs to be a common sense factor that, people are here for lunch and they got to get in and they got to get out. So, the deli, for me as an operator, all my other places are not counter service, so it's definitely a challenge to get adjusted to it. But going back to what Claudia had previously mentioned, we too aim to bring kind of the fine dining mentality or amenities to counter service, to where, people really feel like every detail is being addressed. Because let's face it, and, no matter how many delis there are endless options for people to eat out for lunch.
Very much.
So given that, fiercely competitive nature, you have to do everything you can to keep bringing people back.
That is so good, and you guys just really touch a nerve, because, as restaurant broker, we have so many calls every day I can think of for the last 15 years. Somebody says, hey, I want to buy a sandwich shop. And they're like, why do I want to do that? Well, because it's 7 to 3, Monday to Friday, and, how hard is it? Bread, meat, cheese, yeah, I know you guys are going to laugh.
Cake,
so what do you have for me?
Piece of cake.
So exactly. So I want you guys to share a little bit, because exactly. We tell them, lunch is 11:30 to 1:30 typically in most parts in this country, and you got to do a lot of volume like you talked about. So I'd like for you guys to weigh in a little bit on the operational side of the speed of execution, because let's face it, dinner, even if you're open, I know Mark, you said you're open more cafeteria style, but it's really hard to have a huge lunch sandwich rush. So breakfast is probably a little bit, but lunch is really where you make your money. So let's talk about the operation. Ron, you want to start us off. Tell us about how to operate, the speed of operation. What kind of operator does it take to operate in a profitable manner daily nowadays?
Well, yeah, we open at 7 a.m. We make our own bagels in-house, so we get a little bit of a breakfast rush. And then, all your emphasis is on that 2-hour window So you have to be, taking into account cost. You have to be very cautious the way you schedule labor. And then you've got to make sure that, all the stations are properly manned during that crunch window, to where, because if you get behind, then there's just like an avalanche. And you're left standing there, and people are obviously waiting for their food, and it's a no-win situation. But yeah, it's kind of amazing that we put forth all the planning and the effort, for literally a 2.5 hour window for the most part. Again, we're in a neighborhood, so we are very fortunate to have a steady stream of people throughout the day. We even see a little bit of a push in the late afternoon when kids get out of school, and the neighborhood, especially during the nicer weather, is more pedestrian. And I think my approach personally is, yes, it's definitely aspects of a deli. I too grew up in New York, so I can definitely resonate with those. But we're actually trying to almost kind of forge our concept almost as a bodega, so to speak, to where, people come in and find little things that they didn't even know they were looking for. Whether it's, for instance, my best-selling non-food item is toilet paper.
Everybody needs that.
Yeah, why not have it? Why not appeal to people's sense of convenience? So I think that's another thing you have to really be conscious of as an operator, is that you have to put certain items in place that have a really good margin of profit for you to be able to compensate, for the loss leaders that you have. We do make 90% of our meats in-house, and it costs us more to do that than to simply buy it from Boar's Head. But, the concept is the concept is hinging on a sense of longevity, where, the quality of our product and the signature that we can put on our product is going to be the characteristic or the attribute that really helps us sustain us for a long period of time. To where people come in and say, I cannot get corned beef like this anywhere else but Simone's Pizza and Deli.
Good. Claudia, you want to weigh in on an aspiring new proprietor here? What advice would you have for him?
Well, to seek something else. I'm listening to the guys, and my background is corporate chef, and the hardest thing that I did was to take a step into the deli / sandwich shop, and I've been doing this since I was 18 years old, and I'm 55 now. The advice that I would give them is don't recreate the wheel. I think too many times you have two different types of buyers. You have the buyer that thinks they can come in, and me and the other two gentlemen were a bunch of morons, and they can do it better than us just because they have money.
Hey, I've met those buyers.
You must be talking to our customers.
You know what? I'm very happy to sell them anything. I just don't want to buy it back in 6 months.
Right.
They're the reasons we can't get loans from banks.
Exactly. But I think, I think there's a passion. I think it's the fact that, do, and you listen to the two gentlemen, do what you know how to do and do it well. I'm a pastry chef by trade, so I bake. What don't I do? I don't make pasta because I'm not good at it. Do what you do it well, figure out where you're going to hang your hat, and then do that better than anybody else. And I think, whether you're buying product, making product, or pretending that it's yours, a lot of buyers, they come in and they see an operation that is well oiled, that's putting through people, that it's profitable, and they think that any monkey can do this. Most monkeys can't. And it's that educational time, that first 3 months, where all of a sudden, where do I get product from? It just doesn't magically appear. It's those times that they realize how hard this business is, for that 1.5 hour that you're going to make money. And I'm going to disagree. You don't make money in that 1.5 hours. When you make money? You make money between 2 and 3 o'clock. That's your profit. And that doesn't mean you need to build that. You need to build between 11:30 and 1:30. But between 2 and 3 o'clock, that's your money. Between 2 and 5, that's your pocket. because hopefully you've paid everything by 12, or by 12:30 you've paid everything, and then the rest of it's your money in your pocket. Anyway,
good advice, Mark.
I think about getting back to that lunch rush is, for us, it's about the logistics. We just started this. Reno Provisions opened up about 3.5 months ago. And, my best ideas are laid to waste here real fast when I was like, oh, the customer will come in and they'll go and they'll run through the line this way and this is how this will work. And then we had to scramble and change everything when we saw the way that it was running. So I think for us right now in the new phase, we're constantly tweaking that flow. And, we feel like we're on a good roll right now with that. The faster we get the throughput through, the faster we have the customer interacting with our staff, the faster they can kind of get their things and sit down, the more we're able to do, the happier they'll be. So I think for us, it's always about, being willing to kind of tweak the system, listen to the system, look at the logistics and how things are working and flowing, and we kind of make adjustments as needed by there. We don't say, well, that's the way we want it, so it's going to stay that way. We're constantly tweaking things with maybe new signs or new menu boards or more directional things or telling people what to do and how to do it. And language, we kind of train on language, how we interact with the customer, leading them to say, would you like this or this versus what would you like? Can save a few seconds, and every second counts.
We just scream at them. We just scream at them until they start crying, and then we put mayo on everything.
So I do have a question for you guys, and Claudio, let me start with you. You think about that quintessential New York deli, and the bread is thick and the meat is piled higher and thicker, and all these folks that are trying to skinny back and really watch their caloric intake. Is it just go somewhere else, or is there still place at a deli for those people who are looking for something without the mayonnaise?
I have made a concerted effort in the last 8 months to make my sandwiches bigger and more expensive.
Woo!
I have reworked my menu, and I have taken items that were just on the menu, and I've created a signature sandwich section. And those signature sandwiches, I'm downtown Atlanta. I'm sitting outside on my patio. I can look at 21, 22 restaurants. I'm looking at Subway, Quiznos, Jimmy John's, Jersey Mike's, just one direction. If I turned around, I'd probably see the same ones all over again. So anybody that's anybody is here, and I'm in the middle of it. So my thing is simple. I can't compete with Quiznos. I can't compete with Jimmy John's. I can't compete with any of those guys. They have way too much marketing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to serve it bigger and badder than anybody else. I have an item that weighs in at 2 pounds. If my guy likes you, it's about 2 1/3. If he doesn't like you, it's 1.8 pounds.
Holy cow!
I sell it for $11. Okay, $11 is what I sell it for. Doesn't come with a drink. Doesn't come with anything, which is actually fairly cheap for what I'm giving you. The bread is freshly baked here. Everything we do is made here for it. I have more women that order that than men.
Wow.
How about
that? So the whole fallacy about, I think what people want, and I think, in fact, I know what they want, is they want quality. My customers come back, and I can gauge it on credit cards. My customers come back 1.58 times a week, okay, just on credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 years ago, it was 1.26. So that number, we've been tracking it for 10, 12 years.
Hey, hold on to that thought, because we want to learn more about this 2-pound sandwich. That is absolutely amazing. And also talk with our deli owners about how they're actually using intelligence like this to understand who's in and out of their deli. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon. We're the Restaurant Brokers. Hold on. We Sell Restaurants is your industry authority and source for information. We will be right back after this very quick commercial timeout.